Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to CM42 TV. Really appreciate you tuning in this week. Hope you are all well. One of the things that I mentioned in my most recent channel update video, which you can check out now on the channel, of course, was talking about trying to conquer a few more TV shows. I've always been more of a film guy. Continue to be a film guy, of course, because of the podcast. That's my main outlet for watching films, talking about films, chatting to my friends about their favourites and stuff like that. I've always just preferred going to the cinema and stuff rather than a 14-part series or something like that. I don't know why. I think it's just I quite like the get in, get out kind of attitude towards it. Chatted about it in my channel update. But I also said I have such a long list of TV shows that I want to watch. So, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's not that I don't like TV shows. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just find them quite hard to get through because I have a really kind of low and short attention span sometimes, and I just enjoy the kind of art of like a beginning, a middle and end of the story of a film, but I do understand and I do enjoy the kind of drawn out, getting to know the characters a little bit more. There's totally more character development, twists and turns, cliffhangers, things like that. I do enjoy that. I like the kind of water cooler chat where like a new episode comes out every week and then you're talking to you're talking to your friends at work or your family, or you're like, oh, what did you see this week and stuff. I really enjoy that about TV shows. I just tend to watch more films than shows. So there's plenty of TV shows out there that I've actually would love to see and just haven't even started, So, but one of the ones that I did start when I was in lockdown, when we were all in lockdown, in the kind of springtime of 2020, everyone was kind of binging shows and stuff. I had an idea to kind of binge one of my own, and I chose Ozark. And I don't know why I picked Ozark. I think it was just because I think the new season, maybe the third season, was like coming out that year or something, maybe just dropped. So I was like, alright, perfect, I'll watch the first two seasons and then time for the new one. I also was speaking to a few people through doing the podcast and stuff like that were watching it as well, so it kind of turned me on to it. And I was just looking, to find a new show. I'd heard about it. I liked the look of it. I read the description on Netflix and was like, yeah, that one's, sounds good. I quite like Jason Bateman. I find him funny. I liked him in The Change Up, and I like him in Arrested Development and things like that, which is a show I literally recently just started watching, was turned on to by my pal. So Arrested Development is so funny. I actually not watched it in a while. So Ozark, although I had started it in 2020 and I now have this long list of new shows I want to watch, I was like, I better finish these shows first, And finally, I have finished Ozark, and it's taken me a while. Of course, you had to wait for the new seasons to come out and stuff. I watched up to season 3, and then it was like maybe 9 months or something before season 4 came out, and then they split season 4 into 2 halves, like they've been doing a lot recently. Stranger Things being one that's kind of current, but they did 8 episodes or 7 episodes of Ozark early in 2020, I think, and then maybe late 2021, and then the kind of second part of it came out really recently, and I finally finished it all. And it's a show that I feel, it's a big deal for me. It's like reading a book. I'm not a great reader, and in 2021 I tried to say, alright, I'm going to work on my reading. I'm going to read 10 books. People read 10 books in a week sometimes. I want to read it, 10 books throughout the entire year. And I did that, and I managed that, and I was super proud of myself. I then set myself a goal to read 12 books in 2022 and do one a month. And I'm so far behind. I'm really, really struggling. And that's an attention span thing as well. I'm just not in a reading mood. That's another thing about TV shows. You might just not be in a TV show mood, You might just want to watch a film. You might not want to watch anything. You might just want to watch reality TV. You might want to just watch sports, and that's fine. It's okay to go through phases like that. Here's us going on tangents again. But I didn't want to take up too much time anyway and do a whole hour-long video about the whole series. I just wanted to I also said I was going to make some videos about TV shows and stuff in that channel update. I just kind of wanted to put a bow on my watching and my love for the Ozark show. Jason Bateman, Laura Linney. Not the most likeable characters, especially Wendy Bird. Marty Bird, you kind of have a soft spot for. You like him. You kind of, although there's some really unlikable things, but he's trying. He's just trying to be a good dad and a good boss and a good husband. Although he does do some really bad things, and he's, laundering money for the Mexican drug cartel. Of course, there'll be a couple of spoilers that I'll just accidentally slip out here, by the way, so you have been given a warning. But it's Wendy Bird that's the real bad person, is the real witch in the whole thing, who's kind of manipulating Marty and all this. You've got Jonah, who is really, it's funny when there's a child actor in these shows, and then as the years go on, they grow up with you. I always find that really interesting. It's funny seeing him as a grown-ass man, as Ruth calls him in the last episode. And you have Charlotte Bird, who is just stunning, by the way, who is Marty Bird's daughter, who's kind of like the level-headed one. She's got like a big future ahead of her. She's really good business savvy, things like that. She's like, guys, what are you doing? She's the only reasonable one. Jonah kind of gets out of it. Charlotte's like, I'm done. And then you have Ruth. And I know, it's so funny watching the actress that plays Ruth. I can't remember. Julia Hart, is that her name? Julia Garner. Julia Hart's a wrestler. Julia Garner, it's funny seeing her in, interviews and things like that. She looks so sweet, in like real life. And then she plays Ruth Langmore. And I don't know, like, I've not really done a lot of research and stuff and looked at the fandom. Like, sometimes I do that, I kind of obsess over things and I'll go down like rabbit holes on YouTube and stuff. I don't know how the fandom is for Ozark. Like, is that a toxic fandom like some shows? I don't really want to know. I kind of want to just enjoy it myself. Sometimes I don't want to go on social media and look at stuff, but then other times I do, so it's you can't win in that situation. But like, the people, I feel like Ruth Langmore could be like a kind of iconic character in the history of television. This cult kind of like bad bitch feminist like icon, and I don't know if she is because I've not looked, but I'd like to think with the nature of her character and the way that Julia Garner plays her. I know she's won Emmys. I did see her accepting some form of award and stuff, but she is just absolutely amazing, and she's one of my favourite TV show characters ever. Just some of her lines, I think it's at season 3, the end of season 3, where they're in those big towers before they burn down, and she goes in and she's screaming at Laura Linney's character Wendy. She calls her a bitch wolf, and she's screaming in her face. Like, just an amazing performance, and just in terms of the subtleness of her emotions, break into a smile after a really emotional moment. Like, she is, she's got, obviously Marty's got a real soft spot towards her. That's a really nice relationship, and I love the fact they kept that going right to the last episode. They have this moment. Like, Marty trusts her, Marty likes her. Like, although she's like this trailer park kind of like non-trustworthy hillbilly, kind of comes from that family, she's not really that at heart. She's like a real hard worker. She just wants more for herself and her family. She loves her brother, and then when that happens, I don't want to get, obviously if you're watching this you know what happens, when Wyatt gets shot in the head, and you see her heart breaking when he's kind of going with, what's her name, Darlene Snell. You can see, Ruth wants him to be happy, she wants to support it, but she's like, this is not you, don't go with this psycho. And he's obviously delusional as well, he's kind of get all mixed up and everything coming from that area. And then when the two of them get shot, what a shocker. I think that's like the mid-season finale, halfway through season 4. You're like, whoa, and then, or maybe it's actually when Harvey gets killed by Ruth when he walks into the building and Ruth shoots him. And that moment in the season finale, that moment in episode 14 of season 4, the last episode, where like, what's her name? Camilla, the new owner, taking over from Navarro, Omar, she's like, if you know something about my son's death that you're not telling me, I'll come in and I'll kill your family. Claire turns around and goes, it was Ruth Langmore. I'm so sorry to everyone. She tells him that moment because it's all going so well, and you just know it's not what it seems. Like when they finally got out of it, Camilla's taken over, Navarro's been shot, Marty and Wendy are out. They're having this one last night at the casino, the new management stuff. They've done it, and then Claire tells Camilla, it was Ruth who killed Harvey. Ruth killed your son, and she's standing right there, one of the new owners that you've just gone into business with at this casino. And you can just see the panic on Marty and Wendy's face. Wendy couldn't care less for Ruth, but she knows how much Marty cares about her. So the two of them are in a panic. And then we have the killing of Ruth. And I was thinking about it as the episode was going on, so I was like, what's going to happen here? Like, they're not all going to survive, but they're not all going to die. I think Marty will be okay, because he's always okay. Is Wendy going to die because she's the one that, she's the bad one, like everyone's going to be happy when she dies? Are they going to kill Ruth? I kind of had a prediction that like maybe something will happen where like Jonah and Charlotte leave, Wendy gets murdered, and it's like Ruth and Marty go into business together. I thought that might happen. They might set up their own business or something together. But no, Camilla shoots Ruth outside her trailer, and Ruth's final moment is defiant as ever, and gets shot. I couldn't believe that's how it happened. And now let's talk about the ending, then I'll let you go. I don't want to, because I could go on forever, as you know, but I don't want to take up too much time because I'll end up being here for an hour. But the ending, I enjoyed the last episode a lot. I wasn't sure how I felt about the ending, because what happens is the guy Mel Saturn, the guy who's like the whole season been investigating the disappearance of Ben, the disappearance of Wendy's brother. He's like, I know you've killed him, but there's no evidence. He breaks into their house. They finally come home after this party and they see the glass has been shattered and stuff, and he's sitting outside on the trampoline holding the cookie jar full of Ben's ashes. And I was like, oh man, what an ending this is going to be. What's going to happen here? And he goes, you know what this is? Evidence. And Marty and Wendy are like, we don't know what to do. And they kind of admit it. They go, we'll give you anything you want. There's a thing I saw, it's like Marty's first like monologue, voiceover monologue in the very first episode in the first season is talking about money. And his last line in the last episode is like, I'll give you anything you want, how much money you want, it can change your life. Kind of like reminiscent to his first kind of monologue. I thought that was nice. And he's like worked out, and then Jonah comes out with a shotgun. And I started reading stuff online, and which again I don't like doing, but I wanted to see what people are saying. I wanted to see if I was in the minority of people who didn't like the ending, and I think I am. I think the majority of people did like the ending, which I'm cool with, and I don't ever get angry about this stuff because you can't change it. What are you going to do? So Jonah shoots the gun and the screen goes blank. And it's implied that Jonah saves the day, and Jonah is now a murderer as well when he's shot, the guy to save his family. And it's like the message is like family comes first and things like that, which I like that because it's always been about family. Like the reason Marty's doing this is to save his family and to be financially secure. But he kind of gets the kind of itch a little bit, doesn't he? He likes the kind of being in the spotlight, and yeah, but Jonah's the one that does it. And you can see the proudness on his parents' faces. There's a close-up of Marty and Wendy. And that's the end, and they all survive. Ruth has been killed. The guy investigating, Ben's murder has been shot. Man, it's a great show, and I keep going to tweet. I don't care what anybody says. Ozark's the best show on Netflix after a great episode, but I've not seen every show on Netflix. I don't want to be one of those guys, But I loved the show. 4 seasons, technically 5. The 4th split into 2. Of just twists. Plot twist, getting to know the character, real character development, with like Jonah and Wendy, who's like totally against it at first, and then she can't get enough of it at the end. And yeah, it's what a great show. I'm going to be sad to see it go. I'm happy it's finally over. Happy I've finished it. I feel like I've achieved something finishing a show. Now I can move on to the next thing. My next big one, I think, will be Stranger Things. Try and get that up to date before the new season comes out in 2 years or whatever that's going to be. But that's all buzz right now. I like watching stuff with buzz, so. Yeah, let me know what you thought of Ozark. Let me know what you thought of the ending. Did you like it? At first I was a bit but then reading online and stuff, that happens to me all the time. My opinion gets swayed, but I was like, oh yeah, that does actually make sense. That's quite a nice touch and stuff. So yeah, great show, great ending, great characters, amazing performances. I love the Marty Bird character, and I love even more the Ruth Langmore character. Surely that's an iconic performance by Julia Garner. Just an amazing performance. I know she's in another kind of big thing. Let me find out quickly before we sign off here. Sin City, The Assistant, Inventing Anna, that's what it was. Inventing Anna is her show. Maybe I'll check that out, but I don't know, with a character as strong as Ruth and as distinctive as Ruth, I don't know how I'd feel about watching her do something different and be a different character. That's my only issue with it and stuff. But I loved Ozark, can't recommend it anymore. I mean, people have been asking me recently over the past 2 years, any shows to recommend. I've always been saying Ozark was my lockdown show. It's one that not everybody knows. Just great performances, really easy to watch, really clever writing. Like this at the start of every episode, with the O comes up, and it's the 4 pictures, and they all represent a ZARK. Like, it's just really cool, really creative. Really creative soundtrack. I mean, in terms of the music I've listened to, all the kind of chilled stuff in Marty's car, and the kind of hip hop and rap that Ruth listens to, like. What people who are kind of not, kind of hillbillies and hicks, what do they do when they get a lot of money? They end up staying the same. She never moved until the end, where she starts building a kind of house and a life for herself, and then You know, Rachel's going to need to, you know, take hold of everything because she's been shot. So much to talk about, and so many characters, so many character arcs. You know, I really liked the Ben character, even though he was a loose cannon, and he would have got them all killed, you know. I just couldn't believe that's what they did to him. So things like that, like there's lots of layers to making Wendy Bird a real bitch and making Marty Bird a real lovable kind of like family man. Like, you're doing the wrong thing here, you know, you're a good man. So let me know what you thought. Let me know on Twitter at CM42TV or in the comment section. I'll see you all next time right here on CM42TV. Thanks y'all for watching.